please introduce yourself, your name, your country. When did you come to Japan?
My name is Jingcheng. I usually go by the name Kanrin, but unfortunately the teachers here refuse to use a name to call me, so I guess my name here is Jingcheng. I was born in China and raised in the United States. And I came to Japan actually 2 months ago, but I had a transfer period in Tokyo 2 years ago. Transfer semester between my college at the United States and Sophia University in Tokyo. I spent a semester in Sophia University in 2023.
Why did you choose Japan as a country for study, and why did you choose Kanrin?
So the reason I choose Japan is because I had always dreaming about the life in Japan. I had a strong interest towards Japan since I was a kid. I've been watching anime, movies, dramas, variety shows. All of these things sounds fantastic to me. I have always been curious about what will living in Japan be like. And so I just decided that I want to go study abroad in Japan. And the reason I choose Kanrin is because before I got accepted by the graduate schools in Japan, I want to strengthen my Japanese skills. Although I had already passed the JLPT and won before I came to Kanrin, but I think that the speaking and writing of my Japanese language skill is still not enough for me to survive in Japan's graduate school. So the reason I choose Kanrin is very simple. I just Googled what's the best Japanese language school in Kanagawa because I want to live in Kanagawa. And then the first result pop up is Kanrin. So I just applied. During these 2 months in Kanrin, my Japanese language does improve a lot, I will say, especially in speaking and some basic grammars. Before I came to Kanrin, I basically taught myself most of the things I know about Japanese language. I didn't really go to schools, so my grammar was miserable. I definitely need to acquire more fundamental, more basic knowledge about my Japanese grammar, which Kanrin really helped me a lot. And also, I feel like it's a great opportunity for me here to speak with the teachers. They are very nice, and talking to them is a great practice for me in terms of speaking skills. If you want to study Japanese language, Kanrin is the pick.
What did you like the most about the learning process?
I belong to the A1 class, which is the highest level of Kanrin. And I think during the class, we have a lot of practice session that the teacher asks us to speak and write in our own words. I feel like learning a language, the most difficult part is the output part. But JLPT only asks you to practice on the input part, which is listening and reading. So speaking and writing is something you don't really have much opportunity during the daily life. And the courses really offer me these chances to practice this during the class. For example, the teachers will ask us to write some short sentences using the grammar. Or the teachers will ask us some simple questions like, have you learned any new words? Or what's your travel plan during the winter break? And we are asked to make this short speech in decent Japanese language, which is a challenge, but it's a really good practice for me.
What do you find difficult in the process of studying Japanese?
I feel like the most difficult part in terms of speaking and writing is using the correct grammar and using the correct tone. Because in Japan, you have keigo, you have kensongo, you have a lot of types of the different ways to show your respect. And which patterns of speaking you choose, depending on who you are talking to, is the most challenging part for me right now.
How did you adjust to life in Japan? Any cultural differences that surprised you?
To adjust my life in Japan, I think the most important thing that I always keep in mind is don't bother others. In Japanese, it's like 他人に迷惑するな. So Japan's society really requires you to do your own things and do not cause troubles, especially don't cause troubles on others. So I have to be very quiet at my share house, and I have to behave well in public, especially in the Japanese way. For example, you can talk in the train. This is a little bit stressful, or it's kind of unnatural to me, but rules are rules. You have to combine with them. So it is a little bit hard, but I will try my best.
What do you like the most about your daily life in Japan?
It might sound contradictory to what I just said on the previous question, but I actually do like this order or like rule-based society. When we take the public transportation, Japan is the only country that I can see lines. I lived in China and I lived in the United States. Whenever I took the subway or like the trains, people are just smash into the trains. So I feel like Japan, in this way, Japan's order and people's mindset about like following the rules really attract me. I feel like this is a society that people take the rules seriously. Although, yeah, it might be challenging at the beginning to get used to it, but after you get familiar with it, it is actually a pretty good thing.
Did you participate in any school events? Which one were memorable?
Not particularly school events hosted by Kanrin, but the teachers from Kanrin, they always offer me some great opportunities that are outside of school. For example, I'm going to make some mochis with the children this Saturday, which I really looking forward to. And I also participated in an international conference hosted by the city government of Yokohama, which is also introduced by the teacher in Kanrin. So without Kanrin, these opportunities will never happen to me, so I really appreciate it.
Do you combine studies with a part-time job? How does it affect your studies?
I am currently not doing any part-time jobs right now, but I am planning to do it after I finish all my applications of graduate schools. And I'm also working on getting my driver's license right now. So after I get my driver's license, yeah, part-time job will be a great option for me. I think I will definitely try that. So the reason I want to try part-time job is not because I want money, it's because I feel like part-time job is a great opportunity to practice business Japanese and like to speak to the Japanese guests. So I think if I'm going to do a part-time job, I will work at restaurants or izakaya, which sounds pretty challenging, but it will be a great opportunity to talk to more Japanese guests in a relatively formal way, I will say.
Where do you live? In a school dormitory or you rent an apartment? What is the monthly cost of the rent?
I live in a share house that is collaborating with Kanrin, so it's basically, I would say it's more like a dorm, but there are also people who don't belong to Kanrin living there, so it's a quite diverse share house. The rent is about 60K per month, and it's all like you have to pay the rent in total for like for your whole stay at the beginning of your rent. So I already paid all my rent in October.
How much do you spend on living expenses per month?
Oh, so I think majority is the transportation and food, I would say. Although food here is not as expensive as where I lived before, but food, I still spend a tons of money on food because I'm too hungry on like this delicious Japanese food. And yeah, public transportation is also kind of costly because we live in Kanakawa. And if you go to Tokyo to have some fun, you need to spend 1,000 yen to have a round trip. So yeah, I do that weekly. So I guess I am spending a lot on public transportation.
What are your plans after graduating from Kanrin Japanese School?
So far, my future plan is to go into graduate school. Right after I graduated from Kanrin, I have already get accepted by several graduate schools in Japan, which is a good news. And yeah, that is the short-term plan. And after that, I am looking for the opportunities to work in Japan. And I don't know, maybe I I will continue to stay in Japan even after 10 years. Maybe I will go back to my home country. It all depends on the opportunities. And yeah, we will see.
What would you like to say to a future Japanese language school students? A message from a senpai.
So as a senpai from Kanrin Japanese School, my suggestion is do self-study. Even though Kanrin is a great school that will offer you very meaningful lessons, learning a language is not solely relying on taking courses. You have to practice by yourself. Do the homework and do some extra reading, watching some TV shows or like listening to radios during your free time, or just go out, hang out with Japanese people. That is the best way to practice Japanese languages. Yeah, so self-studying is very important.